What's up, guys? It's freaking hot. It's about 1,000,000 degrees. Got Big Yellow in the shed. It's Saturday. We're doing a fair bit, Rex has been doing a fair bit of weekend work on Big Yellow. So a little bit happened last weekend, which he didn't film, which I'll go through with you now. But after our 8th mile day at Lakeside, obviously we had those issues with those fuel leaks, those gaskets just blowing out, particularly with our sort of little two-step setup that we're trying to sort out. Those gaskets just didn't appreciate the heat and the pressure. It just didn't work out. So in an effort to try and completely remove that from the equation from ever being an issue ever again, Rex actually cut those flanges off and we put some 2.5-inch stainless V-band kits on instead, courtesy of our boys there at Ben Brothers. So big thanks to Dave there at Ben Brothers. He does sell some amazing products. So they are V-banded now, which means there's no gaskets in the exhaust system anymore, except for the actual T4 gasket for the turbo, but these are V-bands, which means there's no gasket to blow out. They should from now on just never leak. So we should never have that issue again. So that's one big issue sorted out. Now the second issue that we had while we were racing was Rex couldn't do a hard 1-2 shift under boost. This thing just wouldn't shift into second under boost. And we talked to our gearbox builder, and it was just something as simple as we do need just a boost bypass so that the gearbox doesn't see boost and thinks that it's just atmospheric, so that it will actually do its 1-2 shift.
Is it the vacuum modulator?
Yeah, because it's a vacuum modulated box, which
still auto.
Yeah, like Rex is saying, it's not a full manual valve body. This is still a completely auto T400. So yeah, the vacuum modulation is what controls the gearing. So with that boost bypass in, now it does shift hard first to second, which obviously is going to be a huge advantage, because from what you saw and from the data we got from the Draggy, it definitely did not reflect how quick this thing is. So now being able to shift 1-2 properly, having those exhaust leaks all sorted out, and actually being able to use our little launch control to get us off the line and then do a hard 1-2 shift on our radials, now we should finally be looking at actually seeing the full potential of this thing and what it can actually do. So that's some exciting stuff. So that was last weekend's efforts, which Rex didn't film, but you're up to date there on them now. As well as that, as we showed you, the Underdash AU AC unit is mounted. And basically the next thing for us to sort that out is to get the lines made up. So like I said, that thing's got an internal TX valve. Most of the AC system is internal in that little Underdash unit. All we need to do is make our lines from condenser to the pump, from the pump to the unit, from the unit to the condenser. So pretty simple stuff.
And it's pretty crazy. It's just 2 lines, and then there's just, I was upset about
3 lines?
No, just 2.
2? Don't you have to run one from the pump?
To the unit.
Oh, right.
I'm talking about the unit.
Yeah.
There's 2 lines, and then I was a bit upset because I was like, where's the wiring diagram? And it's just, it doesn't need one. There's 2 wires. There's a red and a green. So there's like power in, the earth's part of the bracketing system, and then you've just got the green, which I'm going to have to assume is the AC relay.
The
AC
request for the actual pump. So that's
pretty
crazy.
straightforward.
So yeah, so all of the control is internal. So pretty cool little unit. Like I said, does have limitations. There's no demister or anything like that, but like I also said, it's a really small 1-tonner cab. It's not much area to cool down. It should work quite well. So getting on to making our AC lines is one of the next big things, so that this thing can have AC, because it's so close to having AC and it's so freaking hot that it's frustrating.
Yeah. The worst part though is it's quite a big job, just because I have to take this guard off, which is like, turns into a thing.
Are you going to do that today or no?
I don't think I'll have time. At the moment I'm sorting out intercooler.
Yep.
So I'll be struggling to get this done today, I think.
Well, that was pretty much the next thing I was going to talk about, is now that we've got 1-2 shift sorted and we've got the radials to hook up and stuff and all the rest, Rex went and bought a new heat exchanger barrel for the intercooler system. So as you can see, this is monstrously big, far bigger than the one that's in it.
The other one's basically the same width, but it's like, it's this. So this is literally 3 times bigger.
What's this rated for, horsepower wise?
They call it, I think, 1500 CFM, which they're calling 1200 horsepower, but I don't know.
So this is an aeroflow unit. It is an aeroflow item. Basically Rex's ideology is that buy one that's rated for like 1200 horsepower, And seeing as we are only making
600.
half that, yeah, like half that, it should hopefully be efficient enough that it's gonna work. So basically, this is the first step for what we are changing out. It's what we believe, just based on the data that we've got from the car and how quickly it recovers and how quickly the IATs ramp up on its underboost and stuff. We're pretty sure that this is the problem in the system, is the one that's in there. So this is the first thing that's being swapped out. But Rex also purchased a heap of just thermocouples, so that, you know, if we do still have issues with IAT, which we probably will, but we've got a heap of thermocouples now that we can start putting in different spots in the system and start gathering a lot of data about what's heating up, how quickly things are recovering, and try and find what the weak link is the system. And that's how we'll figure out whether we need a bigger pump or we need this, et cetera, et cetera. But either way, this is getting swapped out today, which is going to make hopefully a big difference. So Aeroflow do actually make one that's even bigger than this, which Rex did want to get initially, but
It's basically the same, but it's about double the width. But I just physically couldn't fit it under the back.
Yeah, it's just literally not enough room.
Yeah, not without like remaking the reservoir and just everything. I was like, nah, it's no. And they rate that one at like 3,000 CFM, obviously because it's about twice the size. They rate that at like 3,000 CFM.
Yep.
Like 2,000 or whatever. But anyway, I figure that this is definitely going to be much, much better than the unit that's in there. And then I'm upgrading all of the lines to 3/4. So the old 5/8 rubber, lots and lots of friction. It's probably holding the pump up. We'll go to 3/4 hard line, and then I'm going to insulate everything. And then after that, basically all we have left is to do our little AC interchiller kit that I want to make eventually.
Thermodynamics. So yeah, I'm not sure if Rex has actually talked about that with the camera yet. Do you want to tell people what you plan on doing eventually?
Yeah, maybe we haven't. My eventual plan is to make, essentially, you might have heard of forced induction interchillers. They basically make an intercooler system that hijacks the aircon system. Brilliant idea. I don't think they make like a fairly universal setup, or maybe they do, I don't know. But we have access to enough bits and pieces and parts that I think I can just make my own for not very much outlay, which is my plan eventually, is to do all of this and then make our own interchiller setup using the AC system, because this is going to have one, and use that to cool down the intercooler fluid. And that's about as good as we're ever going to get as far as intake air temps.
So for those of you who don't already know, with your AC system, the way the gas works with the sudden drop in pressure, it cools things down a lot. So if you run that line through a coil that's inside the reservoir, basically, you know, if you go to your car with the AC running, there'll be some lines in there that you can touch and they're icy cold. And the idea is that you're running that through that reservoir cools down the liquid that's in the reservoir, and that's the idea of an interchiller, is using that AC to really cool that fluid down, which is essentially like having an ice box all the time. So.
Yeah, the videos that that forced inductions post up is like, you know, sub-zero temperatures for intercooler fluid.
Yeah.
I believe that they could get that just sitting there idling for long enough. You could get there. I doubt they'd see that on the track.
No.
But I know of other people that are using them that are like, you know, in the single digits, like in circuit cars, using similar systems.
Setup.
So yeah, it's the way to go, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, yeah, like you said, it's like having an ice box, but you don't have to keep refilling it.
Yeah, but it's working all the time.
It's working all the time.
It's one of those things where you're using a subsequent thing that's happening on the car already to your advantage. So, yeah, recycling. We're all about that. Anyway, guys, this was the whole idea of this car being the shop ute. Not only is it really handy for us being a ute, we can use it as a ute. We actually finally, Rex took that SR that's been under the bench for literally a year, over a year. I've been trying to get it to the guy. Finally had a ute to go take that to him the other day. So having a ute's really handy, but it's also exactly meant to be for this. Content, having fun, upgrading bit by bit, going racing, seeing, you know, just keeping on progressively developing the car bit by bit, which is going to be super fun times, because if we can get our IATs down, we can start getting some more boost into this thing, which is going to be fun.
Absolutely. I should specify too that we've gone for this particular cooler because it's budget friendly. My personal choice would have been to go for like a massive PWR or something like that barrel, but I just can't justify the $2,000+ for that particular
That's like
unit.
half what this car owes.
Yeah, and yeah, like again, it's rated for like, you know, however many thousand horsepower, but we're not making that. So
Yeah, we're better off with the cheaper one and then spending the saved money on upgrading the turbo.
pretty much
Would be better off for us. But anyway, we'll get there eventually. You know, all that's happening, and the plan, obviously, by that point as well, is to end up flex fuel on E85 and stuff like that. But
Heck yeah, dog.
yeah, all for later on. But for now, this is what's going on immediately. Looking a bit nicer.
Yeah, getting there. And make these in 2 pieces so that they join just after this cross member. I'm just trying to see if I can. I've sort of made this one. I'm just about to try and see if I can get it to actually go in there. But it's, I don't know. If I have to, I may have to drop the gearbox cross member, which is quite a bit of bother. I really don't want to. I'm not sure that I'm going to have a choice. So.
Yeah, you can see this barrel compared to the one that's going in. What's your plan? Are you going to move the pump and stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to have to relocate the pump.
Yeah.
So the reservoir will stay where it is. I just got to somehow fit the barrel where that one is now, and I'll have to move the pump to just wherever I can fit it, basically. Is the plan. All important side by side.
Bit of a difference there, eh?
Hopefully it should make a difference.
Fingers crossed.
Like I
otherwise
said,
it's
it's literally 3 times the size.
you're going to waste the time. It doesn't.
yeah, it'd be kind of mad.
Whoa. All naked under here again.
Beauty boy.
Nudie boy. Modification. Woo! Look at that. Oh, fresh.
Very different. So it's going to make a huge difference. So one of the things I was talking to mate Joel a fair while ago about it. He sort of mentioned the 5/8 lines were probably being quite a serious restriction. So we've upgraded everything to 3/4, and I think it was right because when I pulled the U-Butte bung out of the heat exchanger up the front there with the pump running, like it shot a geyser of water like over the height of the bonnet.
Yeah.
Which it didn't do before. So I think between that and having literally 3 times the cooling capacity in the cooler, we should see quite a significant difference. And I've used hardline everywhere I can, and everything is insulated. That Raceworks heat sleeve is over everything that I can put it on. So that's about as good as we can do until we do our interchiller, which I can't wait for because I reckon it's going to be sick. So between that and a G40 and some E85, we're looking to go to Pound Town, I reckon.
Really test out what a standard Gen 3 rod can handle.
Which was what we set out to do. So yeah, we're going to find out.
The only problem is that blocks are expensive now.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
Anyway, not like this block was perfect to begin with anyway.
People will start repurposing their old coffee tables now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pull them out, they might be worth fixing.
Sorry, I need your coffee table for a bit.
All that furniture I sold you, I need it back.
Anyway.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm keen to test it out and see how it goes. I will point out, like, I've only used 2 of the mounting points on the cooler just because I couldn't be bothered doing any more, and it's mine, so this is very rough. You'll see that it's not straight, it's all crooked, but I just don't care.
It's very unsung performance.
Yeah, one thong. One thong performance.
One thong performance.
But hey, it's a Saturday and it's ours, it is what it is. Don't worry about it.
Well, it is the parts cart.
That's it. It's just a shit box, don't ever forget that.
Anyway, here you are. Keen to see how it goes. And the tray doesn't fit.
You get that on the big jobs?
Oh no. Well, that's gonna need some modifications.
Yeah, I sort of thought it might happen. I was going off the dimensions on the Aeroflow website. I was hoping that those 90s would be short enough, but they aren't.
So it's the fittings off the top of the core. That's what needs to be changed. So they do make low profile, like banjo bolt types like these. So sort of like what's in this thing. So change to those, and after that the tray should go back down.
Yeah, so it can stay here for a minute.
Well, I guess we'll just have to take twin turbo LS Land Cruiser home.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to.
Righto guys, got Big Yellow back inside, fixing these fittings which have finally arrived so that we can get the tray back on this thing. So these are what we were talking about. They're like a low profile adapter and they're basically like an all banjo fitting. And even when they're tight, you can't... How come yours don't swivel?
I don't know, because they're tight. I don't know what's going on with yours.
Mine swivels when it's tight. Oh.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, so they're low profile, as you can see, basically a banjo fitting. And that's going to allow the tray to go back on without failing. That's how it's going to be. Alright, so Rex is wrapping up the reservoir as a little present. It's a gift.
For me. For me.
We got the supervisor here helping, make sure everything's done right, eh Flynn?
What do you reckon, buddy?
Boys Day.
Boys Day. Boys Day. Boys Day. Boys Day. Boys Day. Yeah!
So just trying to protect this from the heat as best as we can to try and make our, cooling system as efficient as possible.
Well, in case no one noticed, sort of where the reservoir is, as Luke pointed out yesterday, it's like kind of trapped, surrounded by exhaust stuff. It's kind of hot, so anyway, it's the solution for now. Like I was sort of spitballing ideas with Luke yesterday. I'd say eventually when I make a new reservoir with the interchiller and stuff, I'll probably move it back there somewhere.
Fair enough.
Shift weight back and get it away from exhaust things.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm going to do that and I'm going to wrap those exhaust components as well, just to try and get
Keep heat
as
in.
much heat. Yeah, keep the heat in the exhaust and keep it out of the reservoir as much as we can.
Makes sense. I'm glad you're wrapping it, not me, because I hate touching that stuff. It's
don't
really
like it.
gross.
I don't like it either.
It's
but
really, really gross.
someone's got to do it, right?
Sure, if you want it done, by definition, someone has to do it.
Oh, I should have got the apprentice to do it yesterday while he was here. Hey Flynn, what do you like with exhaust wrap, buddy? You like it?
Alright guys, and that's pretty much a wrap. Get it? I'm hilarious. Anyway, that's it. That's what it looks like. Screen is wrapped, exhaust is wrapped, charge pipe's wrapped, the hot pipe's wrapped. And yeah, some reflective tape to try and keep this as cool as possible. And hopefully with all of this happening, our entire intercooler system is just quite a bit more efficient, which will allow the air that we're trying to move to retain quite a bit more density, which will then in turn allow us to make more power bang bang.
I done heard that joke too. It's nice to see that at least you take your dad role seriously.
Yeah. Alright, well, tray's going back on. Hopefully now it fits.
Yeah,
with those fittings.
I pretty much just plan to insulate the intake pipe work as much as I can after that, and because I don't think we discussed it on camera, but actually, yeah, I think it was Luke that I was talking to. So it's the way things have worked out. The intercooler's back here, which is not ideal. You really want that pretty close to the throttle body because, like, when you're on the road, everything's hot. If the air goes through the intercooler and then the air inside the intake pipework from there going up to the front, if that pipework is hotter than that air, it's going to absorb heat during its little journey up to the front. So like it undoes the work of the intercooler. At full boost, there's such a high mass of air that's moving so quickly, I don't really know how much time it would have, how much energy it could absorb from that pipe on the way, but my theory is that just anything we can do at all to help cool it is going to be good. So I'm going to insulate the pipe as much as I can, and till we can do the interchiller, that's about it. It's the best we can do. There you have it. So good thumbs.
Good thumbs.
Good thumbs.
Righto guys, so last night Rex had a bit of an issue with one of the boost pipes after the install of the new cooler. So it's just on the hoist while Rex sorts that out. And while it's up here, I thought I'd give you a look at the V-bands on the exhaust because I don't think I've showed you them yet. But that is where the 2-bolt flanges got deleted and replaced with V-bands.
Leaky
boys. Yeah, the leaky boys.
No more leaky boys.
So now, like, we've got those V-bands and then it just goes through to the back. There's a V-band here. And then over the top, there is the T4 flange. So there's, apart from that T4 flange, there's no other flanges in this exhaust system anymore that require gaskets, which means that, fingers crossed, we should no longer have any issues with blowing gaskets out like we did at Lakeside last time. So Rex reckons that with that barrel, it is noticeably different. It is noticeably goes a lot better. So that means that at the same boost, we are getting a lot more density in that air. So it's doing a much more efficient job, which was the whole idea, which is awesome. So it's a big step in the right direction. Obviously, we're yet to get it back on the dyno and see what the actual difference is, but still awesome that so far it's looking so good. All right, so while I was actually on the hoist and Rex was sorting out that little issue he had with that boost pipe, that plumbing, he's actually done some modifications to the fuel system, which I'll let him explain exactly what he's doing and why.
Hello guys, how are we? How we going? Short version pretty much is in preparation for flex fuel. Making some changes to the fuel system. So because the Gen 3 flex fuel's not very advanced, it's very, very basic. As Max and I talked about in the past, we'd like to have a boost reference reg so that pressure differential across the injector is constant, and we only have the one injector flow rate to deal with, because I'm not convinced that the injector data we have for these thousands is completely accurate based on what we've seen. So that eliminates one potential error in the modeling. So because this thing just had the filter reg at the back and just had a single feed up to the front, I've had to run a second fuel line. So I've run another lot of hardline and changing to a Raceworks boost reference return style reg. And there is a little cheeky flex fuel sensor just tucked down there where no one's really going to see it, which I mean, it's nice and hidden, but boy was it a pain in the ass to do the fittings up, especially because it's hardline to the directly to the sensor. So
was it another compact one, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the one. That's the one that I have had for years and years.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you use the one that was originally
for the cruiser? Yes.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah. So yeah, I've nearly just got to make this feed line for up the front, and then basically I'll go down the back and delete the filter reg, put just a normal billet filter and a T-piece in there, because I've also preparing for a second. Sorry guys, the GoPro did GoPro things just then, but what Rex was saying was that he's prepared a T-piece at the filter at the back because he's preparing for a second pump as well. So because on E, I think we're probably going to run out of fuel pump. So that's the Bosch 200, which is the
successor.
God damn it! Yeah, the supersede to the 044, and they do flow. Apparently, it's like 17% more at 5 bar or something like that. So, but I just don't know at this point. Probably the power level with this turbo, one pump might get away.
Yeah.
But later on, when we change turbos, we definitely need a bigger pump. So
anyway, guys, won't be long, and the big girl will be flex fuel.
Yeah, boy.
All right, check it out. Oh. We're all twin pumped up, ready for some E85.
It's a lot of fuel pump for a naturally aspirated LS1.
Ready to go for some spicy juice. Yeehaw.
Just got to do the wiring now.
Yep.
Just wire the hob switch in and find where I left that wire up the front. Wire the trigger through a hob switch. We're good.
Phew. All right, so Rex went to head home yesterday. Gave this thing a punch on the two-step button, on the launch control button, and it just went rattle, 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 rattle. Rattle, rattle, rattle.
As in this rattle.
So that's probably not good.
You're less than ideal, I thought, so I brought it back here.
Anyway, we have our suspicions. We're pretty sure it's just a heap of bent push rods, is what we think at the moment. So, going to pull the covers off and start having a look and see what's going on.
Essentially, I don't feel like there's anything that could have hurt the bottom end. But playing these games with two steps and stuff, there's a few potential consequences for valve train stuff, particularly on the exhaust side. As we're retard timing, the exhaust valve is trying to open against more and more combustion pressure. So perhaps one of my second-hand lifters decided it didn't like having to try and push an exhaust valve open like that, or potentially, if it was bad enough, potentially bent push rods. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's top endish. I don't think it's bottom end. Before you got here, I sort of had it running and just pulled each spark plug lead off at a time, and it didn't make any difference. So normally, if you had a bottom end knock, that will usually change it or shut it up or do something. So.
Well, let's find out.
All right, so with nothing obvious to see in the top end at all, no obvious bent push rods, no obvious lifter that's collapsed. It seems that all the rockers are moving about the same amount, both sides, is probably not a good start. Not a good start for this thing. Like Rex said, it's not really breathing that heavy, like a cracked piston or something would. So yeah.
Not too sure what's going on actually. I guess dump the oil and have a look. Oh, the old shitbox LS one.
Whatever it is, I'll find it and fix it. It's just can't really afford the time at the moment.
It will be kind of ironic if it is, after all, that a bottom end issue.
Yeah.
Considering all of the crap second-hand top end components that have been put in this thing.
Well, the bottom end was all crap second hand too.
Yeah, it was, but I mean...
So I don't give a shit if it's broken, like a bent rod or fucking well. I'd like to know why, but I don't really care if it is. It's just that at the moment, time is a little bit of... Can't really afford the time for broken shit like this, but this is the game we play.
Yeah.
That's why this is a shit motor, because if this happened, I was going to be like, oh well. I'd be mad if I spent money on this engine and did this.
Well, guys.
Anyway, we don't know yet, so keep fault finding. God knows it.
Woohoo!
Well, guys, I think that's enough for an episode anyway. A fair bit's gone on. It's been filmed over quite a few weeks. Obviously fixing that exhaust, changing that cooler out, and now breaking it. So you have to tune in for the next episode to figure out what exactly went wrong and what we're up for as far as getting this thing fixed.
I was just about to send it to E85. 2 fuel pumps, it's all set up, it's activated, it's working.
So yeah, we were ready for E85, new cooler, exhaust was all fixed. We were ready to put this thing on the corn juice and send it, see what it does, but...
Oh well, just have to tune in next episode for that. Hopefully it's an easy fix, we can fix it and get that done, and you can see all that. So thanks for watching as always, guys. This is the fun of having content cars and shop utes and stuff like that. So we'll see you on the next episode. Smash subscribe, smash the like button. Peace out, see you, bye.